Hi everyone, my name is Rachel Smets, and today we will be talking about the culture and the people in Germany. The cultural traditions, the culture itself, how are the people, how do you greet, what are the big celebrations, only in Germany and only through my own experiences. Okay, I always talk about the countries, the cultures, and especially my own experiences because I've lived in all these countries and I can tell you from my own daily life what I experienced there. Okay, so if you want to reach me, you can always email me info@expattoinpet.com or on Facebook expattoinpet or on my website again expattoinpet.com. So we will start with a very short reading exercise. Then I will show you again the map of Germany with the basic facts that you have to know, that I already told you, but you have to know. Some cultural habits, a lot about the people, a lot about the greetings, the traditional foods, the traditional drink and beer in Germany, and traditional celebrations. Okay, any questions, let me know, and I will tell you where we will be flying to in our next class. So hold on, let's hit it. So, first of all, please close your eyes and breathe in very slowly. Relax all your muscles, slow down your breath, and breathe out. And we do this again a few times to be presently aware, to be entirely focused. You breathe in very slowly. Take your time, relax your shoulders, and slowly breathe out again. And one last time. Please take your time. Forget everything else. Focus on one thing. Focus on your breath. Breathe in and slowly breathe out again. And when you're ready, you open up your eyes, you look around you. Hi, here we are. All right. Let's continue. Now, like I said, this is on the right side, the map of Germany. On the left side, you see the flag with the colors black, red, and yellow. Germany in German language is Deutschland. Deutschland, okay. If you remember my other class about where to visit Germany and what are the most popular places, then I did tell you about some big cities. So just to recapitulate, I want to tell you that the capital city here is Berlin. If you look at the east and northeast side here, this is Berlin, okay? I also told you about Munich, which is here in the south. There is Stuttgart, big city. There is the international airport here in the middle, more or less, Frankfurt. There were these beautiful historical towns here in Heidelberg. And then we also spoke about Cologne, which is also very architectural and historical, nice to visit. And then right below there is Düsseldorf, where there's a big airport as well. And right an hour from there, there is Mülheim, where I used to live. Okay, I told you all about that. So this is Germany, very big country, over 81 million people. It's the second most populous after Russia. Okay, so 81 million people in this country. It's a big country. So because of the size, you can really easily fit 81 million people. As I said, Berlin is the capital. The official language is German. There are, of course, regional dialects that are hard to understand and sometimes don't really sound like any German at all, but that's the dialect. And there is the euro if you want to pay. If you travel to Germany and you pay, then make sure to have euros, which is Most European countries have euros. Remember in UK, they don't, they have pounds, but Germany, euros. Now, when we talk about people, today we're going to talk about the people, the culture. How do you greet? Now, they are generally friendly, although it is known or generally, the stereotype, they say the German are kind of cold and stern. I have to say from my own experience, yes, sometimes they are. They're very strict, very formal, very punctual. So the safest thing to do if you speak to somebody German is be very polite. Don't joke too much. Don't smile too much. Don't, very neutral, I would say. I don't like the word cold. Yes, they're known to be cold, but I guess neutral would be best. What I also wrote is if you address a German in English, they really don't all speak English. A lot of Germans, they don't speak English. Okay? You would think a lot of people speak English, and the younger people, yes, but the older people, even if big international companies where I used to work as well, I thought, well, all of those managers, I'm sure they speak English. No, they don't. It's surprisingly, I mean, to me, it was a surprise in an international company that you would expect everybody to speak English, but it's not like that in Germany. It's a little bit like in France. Remember when I said in France, everybody only speaks French? Yeah, it's the same in Germany, actually, because there's really a lot of people that don't speak anything else but German. So, why do I say this? If you are traveling or living there, and you address somebody in Germany, you better say, do you speak English? Or, in German, sprechen Sie Englisch? This is how you spell it here. I wrote it down for you. Sprechen Sie Englisch? It means, do you speak English? And if they say yes, then you can say, well, tell me where the train station is, or tell me where the bus is, or tell me where, I don't know what is a restaurant. Okay, because not everybody will speak English, so be careful with that. Another thing about the people, the German people, first meetings are very formal. Like I said, the people are formal, punctual, reserved. Be punctual. That's very important. When I was working there, it was amazing. We started at 8 a.m. in the morning, and everybody was there at 8 a.m. in the morning. If I arrived at 10 past 8, everybody looked at me like, you're late. You know, like, how can you be late? It's 10 past 8 or 5 past 8. Everybody was already sitting there. 8 o'clock is 8 o'clock. And then at 5 o'clock, everybody left again. So at 5 o'clock, it's like everybody was ready to go. Don't even think about working 5 minutes later or sitting down. No, 5 to 5, everybody was cleaning up everything. Okay, shutting down the computer and go. It was very funny and very unfamiliar for me as a foreigner. When I was in Germany, I thought, wow, talk about punctual. If you have a meeting at 11 a.m., be there, okay? Don't be late. Do not be late. I know for Asian people, it's very common to arrive late when you have an appointment. Don't do that in Germany, okay? If you have an appointment, be punctual. Good. If you greet somebody, then shake the hand, a very firm handshake, okay? Not the cheek kissing in Germany. Don't do it. You remember in France, in Belgium, in Holland, you mwah, mwah. The cheek kissing? Not in Germany. No, They are also very orderly. Okay, so I guess it fits with being punctual, being orderly, being organized. Also, Germans, if you have some administration or paperwork to do, or visa, or anything else, you can really count on them. So that's a good thing. Yes, maybe they're a little bit too punctual and too organized and too formal. But on the other hand, if they say, look, I'm going to give you this document by tomorrow, then you will get it, okay? Remember when I spoke about Spain, for example? In Spain, it's like mañana. Remember? Tomorrow. If you don't get it today, you'll get it tomorrow. If you don't get it tomorrow, you get it the day after. So there, it's like, you never know. You just have to be very patient. But we are now in Germany, and there, yes, you ask for this, you get it tomorrow, you will get it tomorrow. So that's a good thing, administratively done. About the people again, surprises and humor are not so welcome. Everything is carefully planned. So they are formal, they are punctual, they are organized, they plan everything. You can count on them, you know. So, but don't surprise them. Don't say like, hey, let's go out now, or let's no. We have to plan it. Do you have time in your calendar to pick a date so maybe we can go out? You have to plan everything. So, yeah, is it positive? Is it negative? It's just the way the Germans are. So that is German people. Let's talk about beer and food traditions. We're talking about culture, so we're talking about traditions. Let's start with beer. Big picture with beer. Germany is really, really associated with beer. If you go on a holiday somewhere and you see Germans, they will probably be drinking a lot of beer. It's just, yeah, it's a typical thing. We're talking about culture and traditions. Well, that's one of them. There are over 1,200 breweries where they make the beer, and a lot of very local beers. So a lot of local markets. So if you go to a bar, which is in German called, like I spelled it here, eine Kneipe, and restaurants, then they usually will serve local beers. And it's also the best option for you to take. It's not so, I don't know, if you go to a restaurant or bar in Germany, just ask for the local beer because it will be a good local beer. And then you get the taste of that local beer. If you go to a bar or a restaurant and you ask for I don't know, a Heineken or a Stella or something, something very popular internationally, it's just not the same. Yes, they might have it, but probably not. They usually have local beers. So it'll probably be the best, okay? Because I don't know how long other beers would be standing in their fridge or just go for local beer, and then it's usually a beer from the tap. So then you get a taste of real Germany, okay? About the food now. Typical, okay? The roots and a typical dish will be meat. They love meat, okay? Meat with some form of potatoes and gravy. What I mean by that is some form of potato. It can be a hard potato. It can be the potato in the skin of the potato. It can be mashed potatoes, anything, as long as there are potatoes. It can be potatoes in small pieces mixed with the vegetables, mixed with onions, mixed with some gravy, some sauce, whatever, any type of form of potato with meat, and then some vegetables or a salad, okay? Potatoes, but especially meat. Now, what kind of meat? The most famous are the sausages, okay? Big sausage here with, see, this is another form of potato. It's the French fries. It's also potato. Anything that's potato is good in Germany. With sausage. Sausage here, sausages everywhere. And a lot of types of sausages, okay? There is in the world not one country that has a greater variety of sausages than in Germany. So many kinds of sausages, incredible. Okay. Another very famous is the bread here. It's called Stollen. It's with little pieces of candied fruit inside, raisins and all kinds of other types of fruit that are inside of here. Okay, it's they have a lot of different types of bread in Germany. Bakeries have really a lot of different types of bread. Most of the time the bread is quite hard, quite heavy. Okay, in some countries the bread is very, very soft. In Germany it will be very, very dark and hard, very consistent. If you eat one slice, it's like, whew, oh, that's enough. Whereas sometimes you can buy in other countries very soft, smushy, whitish bread, and then you can just eat half a loaf. In Germany, not. It's very consistent, hard, dark bread. Very healthy, very heavy on your stomach. Okay, so lots of bread, lots of sausages, lots of potatoes. If you don't like any of this, you're gonna have a hard time in Germany. Okay, I don't know what to suggest, but that's Germany. So that's the beers, the foods, you had the people, and now let's talk about the traditions. Not only celebrations, but typical traditions. And again, very special in Germany. I will be talking about the Oktoberfest, which I already mentioned in my last class on Germany, but hold on to that. Let me tell you something else first. Did you know in Germany they have a very vibrant gay and lesbian scene? That's why I put this little picture here of two women, but it can also be two men. Gays and lesbians, they are very common in big cities in Germany, especially Berlin and Cologne. Okay, did you know that there are certain touristical organizations and they start campaigns to attract gays and lesbian travelers to their city? It's like, hey, we're open to it. Come on over here. You can walk hand in hand, man and man, women with women, kissing in the streets. Nobody will really bother you because it's okay. Wow, if you're gay and lesbian in some other countries, they will stare at you like, what? Are you kissing each other? But in Germany, in Berlin, Cologne, big cities, no problem. You can if you're a girl, take your girlfriend. If you're a guy, take your friend. It's all fine. It's a little bit like in Amsterdam, in the Netherlands, they're very accepted there as well. But then, if you would go to the UK or France or some other regions, it's not so accepted. So, Germany, yes. So if you're gay or lesbian, no problem. You can travel there. Don't be bothered with kissing each other publicly. It's all okay. And that's certainly not the case in many other countries, but there it is. So I thought that was interesting to tell you. And I've experienced it as well. I mean, you see them in the street or in shops or whatever, and it's all fine. Another very, very, very important thing is the football. Okay, the German Football Association is the biggest association in the world. And when they have competitions in football, whoa, the German league, they're usually very high ranked in worldwide or football games. It's not something I can tell you a lot about because I'm not so much a football fan. But when there are like really big games going on, then yes, then I like to watch it. But yeah, in Germany, people are big fans of all those. Yeah, the German league, but also all those different regional leagues. So football, if you like football and you talk to some German person about football, yeah, you're good. You're good. That subject is always good. Okay. Another thing is transportation. It goes really efficiently and easily, and I wanted to tell you that because if you are traveling and you want to go, because it's such a big country and you want to spend time in different cities, no problem. You hop on the train or you rent a car, but it's very, very efficient. And I know a lot of local German people that because it's such a big country, a lot of people have family that are living in other cities, which is quite far distance, but they take a train. So if the locals do it, then you know you're good, right? So it's good. And now, last but not least, let me tell you about the Oktoberfest. This is the world's largest Volksfest. It's really insane. It is in Munich. Remember Munich? It was down on the east south side of Germany. Okay, that's a big city. And it is a 16-day folk festival. And it's always round October, beginning of October, because it's called Oktoberfest. So you can guess it's October, okay? So end September, beginning October. Now, what is there? Now, what do you expect? What did I just tell you about Germany and beer? See this girl here dressed in a German clothes with beer, 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 beer. This is a typical little design here of a German with the German flag and, of course, beer. Um, but it's not just beer. It's just fun. It's festivity. It's music. It's dancing. It's crazy. And I wrote down here, I mean, so you can read it, 6 million people. Can you imagine in only a few days, 6 million people from all over the world, they travel to Munich for the Oktoberfest. It is just, yeah, it's, if you travel to Germany, well, then pick that moment because it's, yes, okay, people are very, very, very drunk and people drink a lot of beer, but it's fun and it's joy and people are happy and yeah, it's huge. It's every year and it's just so known and then you see things on TV and but if you can live it for real, yeah. And I'm mentioning this because it's so common and so popular and people talk about it and then you know, oh yeah, that's a big world's largest festival in Munich every year in October. There you go. You're already becoming a local, right? Okay. So that's some things about the culture because there's so many more things to say and to talk about, but I'm keeping it to this, to the main points. And if you want more details, you can always ask me anytime. I can help you with that for sure. So, what are my next classes about? My next classes, we will go to the warmth and the south. Oh, I love it. Italy. I love the south of Europe because of the sun and the climate, the blue skies, which is me standing here, the boats, the sailboats, this here, beautiful river, beautiful sky. So I will be telling you all about, first of all, one class will be about visiting Italy. What are the most beautiful places in Italy? Again, I will be talking from my experience. I've probably been over 10 times to Italy. I love it. There's so many gorgeous cities, fashion, shops, culture, churches, architecture. And then I will tell you another class about the culture and the food. Ah, the food, Italian food, pasta, pizza. Um, yeah, and also the language. Mamma mia, la bella Italia. It's such a nice romantic language. So that is all for in my next class. All right? Thank you all so much for being here and listening. And I'll see you in my next class.